Today's podcast is sponsored by Agorapulse. Stay tuned for more details in this episode.
I could just see you being like, Elizabeth, somehow I'm speaking in Chechnya on Friday. How did that happen? Ask Drudini.
Exactly.
Well,
you know what? I won't ask Elizabeth. Drudini will ask Elizabeth.
Exactly.
And she and I are just going to sit on the couch and watch Netflix. But here's the thing.
Like faux Elizabeth and Drudini working together.
Invisibeth.
Invisibeth. That's awesome.
Dear listeners, Elizabeth is Drew's wife and agent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
it took us 12 minutes to get off the rails here.
Oh, sorry. That's really bad.
This is how our podcast works. It's like it doesn't.
Okay, good.
I've got good news. We've got Drew Davis. I know, Drew thinks no one knows who he is. Everybody either knows Drew or will eventually know and love Drew. There's only two kinds of people in the world. I'm honored to say that I connected with this guy early days, kind of early-ish days, 10 plus years ago, from events, which we may talk about. And what Drew did in that moment, I don't remember all the details, but the feeling that he left us all with was like, wow, I can do this. You know, we all felt smarter. We all felt empowered, inspired. Drew is a speaker that kind of elevates both the intelligence and motivation of his attendees. I love this man. I've booked him myself. I saw him just recently at a thing. So he just has a different take on it. He'll have a different angle. It's like funnels. Nah, it's not really a funnel. Let me explain what it is. And he gave us this metaphor that we've all talked about many times. You can't forget it once you see it. So yeah, it's the moment. It's the psychology. It's what's happening in the mind of your visitor. Drew knows that. Drew's an expert at teaching that. And just like one of the most gorgeous personalities in the business, Drew Davis, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. I'm blushing. That was really, thank you very much. That's very kind. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, we got you. We got you on. I know that you can do a fake out during that podcast request, but we caught you at the right time. Honored to have you here.
This is great. Well, listen, we're gonna let me kind of explain the theme of the show. If you're a new visitor, we kind of do a round robin thing where we break our podcast up into 3 sections. Each of us all get a section. We kind of bring up our topic, and the other 2 get to grill us on what we agree with or what we don't agree with, and we have a lot of fun doing it. And so we drew some straws before the show. And Drew, you are up first.
I got the short straw. All right, so I want to talk about digital doppelgangers. So this is a concept that I've been thinking about for the last 9 months, and essentially a digital doppelganger is it's basically the virtual version of yourself. So it's like your behaviors, your preferences, your ability to write. It writes like you, it sounds like you, it creates videos that look like you, but it's not you, and it's all AI powered. And the simple idea here is that AI is good at a bunch of things, right? I know in the past on this show we've talked about it's really good at text generation. Okay, great. That's really wonderful. Chatting with a search engine basically is really exciting. It can generate text for you. That's amazing. It's really cool, but it's not the superpower. It's really good at information retrieval, right? But we've had great search tools like Google for a long time, so that's not necessarily new or novel. And it's really good at sentiment analysis. And so, in fact, it's amazing at understanding opinions and beliefs and your nuances of understanding. And Andy, you were even talking about that on a recent show, which I found really, persona-wise. But I think the real superpower of AI is mimicry and imitation. And so I've spent the last 9 months trying to get AI to mimic and imitate me. And so far I'm doing pretty well. It can imitate my writing style for very, very specific tasks. 2, it can create and mimic my voice and tone and style when I'm speaking really, really well, indiscernibly well. And it can even generate like AI powered video that is me. It's like, it looks like me, but I never shot the video. So I just want to know what you guys think about a future where you're hired. This is my imagination of the future, where you're hired not just for the skills you bring to the table and your creativity and your talents, but you're also hired for the AI you bring along with you that does what you can do. So like you're like a package.
I get it. I've seen you teach this from the stage, but that sounds like a little bit different angle there at the end. It's like you're hired not just for you, but for the kind of, that force multiplier version of you, like that one. And what struck me, and I'm sure Chris is thinking the same thing, is that you're going beyond just the simple text generation, like what Chris is probably thinking of right now, in multimodal AI, right? It's like using it to create, it's not just one format, like you're, and the way that I saw you do it, you made another Drew.
Yes.
I feel like I kind of know the guy. Like, tell us about this alternate version of you, your digital twin, your digital doppelganger.
Yeah, my digital doppelganger, his name is Drudini. And in fact, he's getting so good that I actually decided that I should set up like social media profiles for him. So Drudini, like, I did. I just got him on Instagram. So Drudini Davis is there. He hasn't posted anything yet. But basically, like Chris, the idea is that like in the future, I don't think we'll be creating anything on our own. And the only way to actually really reduce fear and increase your like trust with an audience in the future will be to be transparent about the fact that you've used AI to help you with this. And if you turn it into a persona, like a virtual persona, all of a sudden you can build trust in a really deep way because you're transparent about who's helping you. It's a who, not a what. Like not what tool, but Drudini helped me write this or shoot this video or create this stuff. So Drudini can basically like write a script for a promo video for an event I'm doing, and then he can actually take the script and like use a tool like 11 Labs to do the audio, and then I can take the audio out of that and then actually upload it to a tool like HeyGen, and at the end of it I have a pretty good like promo video that I never had to shoot and I didn't write, and it only took me about 4 minutes instead of 40.
So HeyGen also has an advanced lab feature where you can go to one of their studios and get your whole body from like the waist up.
I saw that.
I saw Peter Diamandis did it. He has a thing called Peterbot. Same thing, but it's like, it's one thing when it's doing your facial expressions and stuff like that. I do a video where I do my pitch in multiple different languages, and it kind of spooks out the audience. But it goes a whole nother level when it's your body moving too, because it's funny because like the way you walk and the way you move is characteristically you. Like there's like military things where they found like Osama bin Laden by the gait, like his walking style.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't know that. Like, wow, that's crazy.
It's nuts, right? Yeah. I
do this a lot. Is it going to know me from that with my superhero post? That's Andy right there. That's the guy.
That's the real Andy.
Yeah. I always thought that, like the way I feel like AI is going to be so infused to everything, it's almost like saying, oh, I used Microsoft Word to help me write this script. You know what I mean? It's going to be so ubiquitous. But what I kind of believe is going to happen is that we're going to go into a world where we're going to crave genuine humanity. And so the VIPs are going to get the real Drew. And then the ones who would have a downsell would say, if you need more help, I don't have the time to do these things, but you have access to all my expertise. And so you can reach my Drudini custom GPT for the rest. And it's not just stuff that I scraped off the internet. Anything you get in this portal has been researched, verified by me. It's stuff I've published and all that stuff like that. And I think making sure that you have a really clean, airtight Drudini becomes an asset how great would it be? It's like, oh, I'm a public speaker. I'm going to speak at your event. And VIP guests also get access to Drudini because I'm uploading my transcript of what I'm going to present, and you can ask my transcript questions.
Yeah, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Wait, what's the vice versa?
Well, it'd be like, everybody gets Drudini because he scales. But if you want
Yes.
Drew Davis
Exactly.
is like the VIP, like come on behind the velvet rope.
Yeah. Yeah, I think two things. Like one, I don't know. I think the real problem with AI, it's kind of threefold, but like I think the ethical and like moral unease people have when they're using AI to create something that then they put their byline on. Like most people have this problem. I don't anymore, but I think it's because I've like taken control of the AI, trained it my way, and then I can say it's written by Andrew Dini, and I feel like no ethical unease. It's like I worked with a writer, collaborator. Like it's an article by both of us, so I don't really think like it's a tool because it'll be so ubiquitous, like you said, that it's not, you won't use it like a tool. It'll be just able to do stuff on its own. So like, here's a good example, Chris. Like you can actually email Drew Dini. Anyone that's listening or watching wants to email Drew Dini, you can email him. I'll send you guys the link so you can put it in there. But so basically, I don't have a call to action in my speech. I just say, if you want to email Drew Dini and ask him a question, go for it. And I just did this speech last week, and somebody had a 15 thread back and forth conversation with Drew Dini, and he got all the answers he wanted. But here's the thing, Chris, it's not a duplicate of me. He has his own personality. Like when he writes the emails, they're a little different. Like it's enough of me. And like this person loved it, it's pretty crazy. And he's working all night, I don't have to ever respond to those.
Crazy, right?
I read them all just to make sure he's not doing anything shady. But he does actually understand my preferences, and he's really good at kind of corresponding the way I would with his own voice and tone. So I think there's a big ability, an opportunity for brands to do this in a deeper way as well.
And I got to say, this is the dumbest AI will ever be.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, for sure.
I was thinking about the same thing. It's like, take a wild guess. This is super fun with you here, Drew, because you had kind of like a visionary bit here. What is Drew Dini going to be doing 5 years from today?
Okay, so I've mapped him out. Okay, so basically there's I think there's 4 versions of Drew Dini.
Okay.
Yeah. Here, I did this with Drew Dini, by the way, so it's not just my vision, it's our vision. So like right now, he can like imitate and mimic my writing style and my voice, but it's very manually oriented. Like I have to do each step with him, and I have to prompt him to get him to write it. I have to upload the information for everything. Then he can synthesize it, and he spits out something that's A+ every time. Like it's really good. Okay, but like Drew Dini 2.0, I think Drew Dini 2.0 is much more he'll be able to actually produce the product and understand a few steps in the products in the process and do them for me. So for example, if I need a new promo video, he'll be able to say, oh, you need a new promo video? I'll go online and find the information about the event. I'll write a draft script. If you like it, then I know next step is to create the video, and I'll just create the video for you when you say that's great, right? So it's kind of like it'll understand the multi-step process. I think the third version is really predictive Drew Dini, where he'll see that I just booked a new gig and I put it on my website, and I won't ever interact with it. He'll write the promo script, he'll shoot the video, he'll send the email to the organizer and say, here, we just created a promo video for you, Drew Dini and Andrew and I, and I'll get a response from them, and he'll respond to it as if it was me, all automated. And then I think the last version is essentially completely behavior and preference Drew Dini, which is essentially not only can he mimic and imitate me, but he can actually really think like me. So he'll be able to negotiate a sales deal the way I would negotiate a sales deal, because he's learned so much about me, and even execute it on my behalf and send a thank you video to the client. So that's kind of the picture, and I think it's probably faster than 5 years. I think if ChatGPT 2 is the size of a bee's brain, and ChatGPT 4 is the size of a squirrel's brain, we're pretty close to a human-sized brain.
Oh, yeah. But wait, hold on a minute. I'm cool with everything up until Drew Dini 4.0. In that, you just described a world where you wake up in the morning and you got tickets to Bratislava, and you didn't even know. Your AI buddy just signed a contract and bought you a ticket.
This already exists, actually. I mean, you still have to do some manual entry, but I actually tried it. I forget what it's called. There's an AI agent that has strung together a bunch of stuff, including browser control. And I almost ordered from Uber, like just saying, like, go, like, I'm hungry. And all of a sudden, like, I could see my browser being taken over, and it like logged into Uber Eats, and then it's like picking food. And it was about to check out, and I literally shut down the browser. I was like, Control Command quit. Like, I don't know how to get out of this. So we're pretty close. Yeah, I think that's the difference, though, between like an AI bot and a digital doppelganger. By the time Drew Dini will be buying on my behalf, he'll truly understand like my budget, and like there'll be complete transparency between he and I, and he's not going to do things that are in my, like, that are outside of my, like
Bratislava.
my own behaviors. Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Okay.
It's out. It's out. I don't even know where Bratislava is, so I'll Google map it now.
I could just see you being like, Elizabeth, somehow I'm speaking in Chechnya on
Yeah.
Friday. How did that happen? Ask
that
Drudini.
Exactly.
Not
Well,
that
you know what? I
Indian,
won't ask
not
Elizabeth. Drew Dini will ask Elizabeth.
Exactly.
And she and I are just going to sit on the couch and watch Netflix. But here's the thing. Like
Faux Elizabeth and Drew Dini working together.
Invisibeth.
Elizabeth, that's awesome.
Dear listeners, Elizabeth is Drew's wife and agent.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
It took us 12 minutes to get off the rails here.
Oh, sorry. That's really bad.
This is how our podcast works. It's like it doesn't.
Okay, good. I'm glad I derailed it. No, I think, like, here's the bottom line. I think digital doppelgangers will make our lives more creative. Like, this is what I've been telling everybody I meet. Like, I really feel like marketing for me has become a bunch of button clicking and list generating and data querying and persona asking, and like it's not as creative or as fun as I ever thought it would be. And I think it's got less fun over time with more channels and more media that we've got to create. It's become like a desperate land grab for just the tasks we need to complete. So I think this is going to free me up to be way more creative. Like, I have a book I haven't written, I'd rather be writing that book right now and Drew Dini be helping me with the things that I can trust him to help me with and do the way I would do, like A+ every time.
Let me ask you a question. I want to push back on something because I created a presentation for a conference. It's actually a friend of ours, Andy, Rich Brooks's summit, and I was talking about agents of change. And what I was saying is that in the beginning, advanced players like you are going to get this, what I would call like this separation, this this major gap between the people that are novice users and whatever. But eventually, when everyone has it, will the tactics that win clients' attention now be, if everyone has them, it's like rising tides lift all ships. So I think that the things that are going to win people's hearts and minds later are just going to have to be the next level up. So like, I think that everything that wins clients' attention now is, let's say, particularly a level 2. The AI gets us to a level 6, but if everyone's at a level 6 and that's the new plan, that's the new break even, then to win hearts and minds, you might have to do a level 9. And I don't know what the AI does there. I don't know whether it's a human connection. I don't know what I don't know, but I think that a lot of times people come to me and they're afraid of AI because they think that other people are going to have it and they won't. And I'm like, no, you will have it too. So we don't know what we don't know as far as what the new battlefield will be. But I do know that, like, you writing your blogs for 3 hours, that's not going to be what you do in 3 years from now. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't disagree with you. But my question is, do you think the things that work now, the things that got you here, is that what's going to get you there later on? And I don't know.
I don't know that I can answer that. I think there are two things. Like, I think the people that are scared of AI, and there are a lot of people that are scared of using AI, or they're scared that AI is going to take their jobs, so they don't want to engage with it. Like, I realized in talking to someone a few weeks ago in Delaware that like really you have like this AI compass inside you now that you're like working with AI, if you've ever even tried it. Like you're pulled in multiple directions. Like all of a sudden it'll produce something that's pretty good, and you kind of have this awe and this just wonder at what it's capable of, right? And when it does produce something that's great, and then you think, oh, I'm going to send this to my boss, or I'm going to use this strategy, or I'm going to email this to someone, you do feel this ethical unease all of a sudden pull at you. Like, man, should I really be doing this? Like, should I tell them I used AI? Forget it, I'm not going to do it. And then I think on the other end, like if this kind of other pull is just like the fear that I don't control this and it's going to take over my job and I'm going to lose my job. And we've seen those headlines. And I think the only way to fix that problem is really like to kind of embrace the awe, be really transparent about your use of it, and then make sure you control it. And so I think right now the biggest problem we all have is that if we're giving up control, then yes, you're right. Like the playing field is going to be leveled. Everybody else has access to every one of these tools that writes great blog posts and does SEO better than all of us have ever done SEO. It'll create better videos than we can create, faster than we can create. So if everybody's just using the tool, and my point here is it's not a tool, then yeah, the playing field's level and the machines run the world and we're not going to buy anything, and you don't need an emotional appeal, it'll just be done for you. But I do think if we take back control, like if we say, no, I want to own my own AI that's on top of some large language model and some video engine and some graphics engine, but it's going to do things the way I do in my style all the time, and I want to own that transparency and control, and then I want to be able to offer that as a product or a person or a service to somebody else. That's where the true value is. And then at that point, the playing field isn't level and your creativity is amplified, so everyone's will be different. But if we just think we should just let the tech bros create tools for us that do the job better than we do, everything's just going to be generic. Yeah, like the new normal,
Yep.
As you said, Chris.
Yeah. Well, Andy
Yeah,
created. I'm teeing you up here, Andy. Tell them about the thing you just published, because when you started off saying like, what do people want to hear about from AI? How comfortable are they with getting an output from AI? You had the coolest post, Andy. I think I CC'd you. I forwarded it to like 10 people. I was like, this is really, really cool. Yep.
So short version, a year ago, I asked myself, well, should this go into our marketing messages? In other words, do our potential buyers want to hear that we are using it because they trust it, or that we're not using it because they distrust it? Who knows? Let's ask a bunch of people. So Question Pro, super sweet, very great collaborators, can do a survey of a general population, and that's what I'm doing here basically, is like, let's ask a bunch of consumers, do you want your doctor to not use AI, or to do their work and check it with AI, or to have AI do it and they check it, or to have a robot doctor? So it's like four degrees, right? 4 answers. For doctors, for lawyers, for financial planners, for accountants, for different categories, and for marketers, right? And it comes back mixed, but and then largely what it seems like is that people are perfectly fine having their service providers use AI for help. The majority of respondents for every one of these categories, like, yep, go ahead, doctor, check your work with AI. There's lots of trust. It's pretty equal across gender and geography and race and age. I thought that was interesting. So, and then we did it again yesterday and published this morning. So now you can start to see, like, actually the trust in AI slipped a little bit. It's within the margin of error. It's a very slight difference. But this question is about, like, when should we should we embrace it? What do our audiences think? Should it go on our marketing messages? And just trying to get a gauge for that. Obviously, AI has infinite use cases. And, if your brain is doing it this way, as Drew just described, like task by task, you're asking yourself, like, is there an AI method for this specific task? But yeah, we should always be transparent. And my perspective personally, this is my point of view, which, by the way, expressing your point of view is a way to differentiate yourself from AI. AI has no point of view. I joke AI stands for, you've trained it carefully, Drew. It's a bit, I know what you're doing and I love it. But AI, as you said, it sort of, I joke it stands for average information. It tastes like water. It's the summary of the internet. So having a point of view obviously helps you differentiate yourself from low quality garbage. But my point of view is that AI is a fantastic tool for research, and that we should all be embracing that use case and that marketing message, that we use AI to be smarter ourselves. Whether or not we should use it to actually make things, that's still controversial. Fine, back up, not ready yet. I personally don't use it to write my stuff. But heck yeah, I'm going to use it to find the best soundbite in that video transcript to know what to post on social media. Why wouldn't I do that? So that's where I'm coming from.
So when I stumbled upon this thing where I just started teaching AI, and it started into once a month, and then it turned into twice a month, and now I'm doing it like 10 to 15 times a month. Like, it's pretty much all I do. But I use this analogy that if AI is a calculator for words, and your accountant came to you and said, oh, by the way, Drew, we've had a great relationship, so much so that I did all of your taxes without a calculator. You know what I mean? I'd be like, well, do them again. You know what I mean? Like, it's my expectation you're going to use a calculator.
Right. It increases trust for certain things.
I think I want your eye on the ball, but I also want you to use a calculator. I think that that's the way I view AI. It's like, okay, you're my doctor. If you are going to be connected to MedPalm 2, and it's going to know diseases faster and better than you do, but you also know how to, triage and to basically do develop a prognosis with all the information you have, all the better. I'd hate for my doctor to be like, I'd hate to use this massive resource because I'd rather do it in my head for you because I love you so much. I'm like, no, man, what is this thing on my shoulder?
That's right. Use every tool you got. Yeah, for sure.
Look, I think here's the difference. I think we're all saying the same thing in the very short term. Everybody's using it as a tool right now, right? And I actually have a Dr. Drudini that I've already trained him with all my medical history. I've told him everything about me, and so anytime I see a weird thing on my shoulder, I literally take a picture of it and I ask Dr. Drudini, and he helps me figure it out. So we're all using it like a tool. But I think here's the difference, Andy. I think, and Chris, I think in the very short term, I'm already seeing it with tools like Air AI. Have you guys tried Air AI?
But I know about it.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it or heard of it, for those that are listening, it's basically an AI agent that is designed to be a sales representative. So it can actually reason with you and have a conversation. And all the demos I've seen, and I've done it myself, I've set up my own Air AI Drudini, and he's amazing. He's really good at sales. Here's the thing, there's going to be a point in the very near future where we are so good at mimicking the human traits that people won't know if you're actually talking to a doctor or you're talking to AI. And so my point is that I would if Dr. Davis is busy, and I really want to know what's on my shoulder, I'd rather Dr. Davis say, hey, you know what? I'm busy. I can't have an appointment for 14 weeks. But guess what? You can talk right now in a video call with my AI version of me. I'd rather do that. So all I'm saying is, I think if we stop thinking of it as a series of tools that people are using to help make them better, and just think about the leap we could take if those two things are melded together, I think you come up with a much more exciting future that's very clear to the consumer what you're dealing with. Instead of what I see with Air AI is people are going to be buying things from Air AI bots that they never should have bought because it's so good at actually convincing you to do something. There's going to be a lawsuit in the next 9 months, I guarantee you.
All right, we got to move on. This is
we should move it on 10 minutes ago.
No, this is what it's about. I'm going to be thinking about this exact topic, and I think this is really at the heart of the big conversation. I mean, this is about why. This is the why. This is about trust. This is a longer term perspective. This is why we love Drew. So thank you.
I hope you're enjoying today's podcast. Now, please take a moment to hear a word from our sponsor.
This is an amazing podcast on marketing, but what if you're trying to figure out how to actually grow and scale your agency? For struggling agency owners, there aren't as many resources available, and there certainly aren't many places you can turn to benefit from the experiences of other successful agency owners. That's where Social Pulse Podcast Agency Edition comes in. I'm award-winning marketer and partnership leader Mike Alton, and each week I sit down with another agency owner just like you, talking about some of the biggest challenges they faced and how they overcame them. Find Social Pulse Podcast Agency Edition and subscribe on whatever podcast player you're listening to now.
I do have a subtopic I'm happy to throw out there, and I like this one. Last time I saw you was at a live event. Chris, we were hanging out at an event. Live events are back. We're kind of in the clear post-COVID, and people are getting together again in person. I think events are still, most conferences are off their peak for attendance. Still, many, it seems. But most of those programs as content formats are alive and kicking and going strong. So I'm finding myself in ballrooms with 2,000 people and amazing keynotes and fantastic breakouts. And so we're kind of back on the road and we're getting back together, which is great. Which makes me revisit this topic, especially because you're here, Drew. So events, we know that there's value to the speakers, some, personal branding and exposure and, other kind of knockoff benefits that happen from that. You're a paid speaker and at the top of your game. And I highly recommend anyone who's listening who needs an amazing kickoff for a meeting or event, talk to Drew or Elizabeth or their doppelgangers.
Or Drew Dini. Yeah, email Drew Dini.
Yeah, he'll book you for it. Bratislava, here we come. But the value to attendees, curious on your perspective of that, and to organizers, do we recommend launching conferences or running events? Just a big open question because it's happening, it's back, and I'm finding myself at events and I'm reconnecting with all kinds of people at all kinds of, my calendar's full of things that I'm just attending. Where are you guys with the return of the live event format?
I just actually read some research. I can't remember who did it. I apologize. I'll send you the link. But they researched a bunch of event organizers and speakers, and the bottom line was that 84% of event organizers that were surveyed are going to be doing more events this year than they did in 2019, which is really interesting. That's a lot of events.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. Events are back, and I definitely feel it. I'm getting more inquiries this year than I got last year. It's still not to 2019 levels for me yet, but I think it's pretty close. It's going to be close this year. And from an attendee value standpoint, I think events have changed a little bit. And some of the events that were the biggest events that attracted the biggest people, you're right, they're not back at their premium level attendance from 2019 yet. And to be honest, I feel like the value overall for some of those huge events, I think has been diminished. I'm not sure exactly why, but I feel like it's still set up to be a big event, but then you only have half the attendees you had. The quality of the attendee doesn't seem to be as high, and the quality of the breakouts or even some of the keynotes, it doesn't seem to be as high caliber as it was. That's just maybe hindsight. But I will say I've seen an increase in the number of events doing single track format events. And for me, those have been much higher quality. The network has even been better. And I feel like the experience has felt more intimate, even though some of them are very large, 700-800 people. So I think if you're thinking about attending an event, think about how big is it, how big was it, and how many tracks are they offering. And my gut sense is the single track events seem to be the most engaged and the most valuable to me.
I love it. I'm feeling it. So I organize an event. It's called Content Jam. It's an annual conference.
Yeah,
it's a small
Jam.
event. You've spoken.
It's awesome.
I've got it down now. It's only like a 100-person event because it's easy to manage, and we do it as a one-day single-track event.
It's
That
awesome.
it puts on a lot of pressure as the organizers to curate only the best speakers because you can't waste everyone's time by taking a chance. Doesn't that make it harder for new speakers to break in? If the organizers are all booking single-track events, it's like there's like a disincentive to take a chance. I meet people all the time. I'm like,
there really is.
I'd love to help this person like get on a stage, but like there are there fewer opportunities, or is it what is the risk reward calculation for the programmers of those events?
Well, I mean, yes, the bottom line is most event organizers are going to do exactly what you're doing, I think, Andy, which is not take a chance on someone they haven't seen before or doesn't have a great, video they can watch and a referral from someone. But, Jay Baer did a bunch of research a few years ago, I think this is 2020 or 2021, about how event organizers book speakers. And basically it boils down to the top 3 categories were all different types of referrals. So I think if you're breaking into the business, you're going to start in smaller single track events or even multi-day single track events or even breakout rooms at some of the bigger events. But as soon as you start getting those referrals because you are so good, I think it's less of a risk for someone like you, Andy, with your one-day Content Jam single track event to say, well, I've heard 6 people vouch for this person. They keep telling me to bring them on. I got to have them, and I'll talk to them and see if I can and take a leap. Maybe they're not your opening keynote, but maybe they're right after, right before lunch, and everybody's tired anyway, and you can blame them for not enjoying the session.
Yeah, for me, I've got young kids, and so my wife really curtails how many away games I get to do, and then I have to do. The next thing is, if I speak at this event, will it lead to business? Now, the events I want to speak at are not the ones that actually bring me in the same level of business as the ones that pay me for I speak at mechanical contracting associations all the time. They pay really well and they can turn into clients for me. And so that's
that sounds
sort of
awesome to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the action is.
Yeah. And I have no problem. I've developed enough of a reputation in one small little pond. And so I'm like the guy there. But then I go to events like Maycon and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I'm doing this every day. How do I get to Paul to get on stage, stuff like that. And that's the thing that you were saying, Andy. Drew, I built this agency 24 years ago, started marketing it about 4 years ago. I'm just making the donuts for
That's
years.
amazing. That's
you know
amazing.
what I mean? And then now we're grown to a spot where I get to do sort of what I want to do.
That's awesome.
But it's weird because breaking into these events, there's it's not a good old boys network. It is people have a portfolio of speaking,
right?
And getting someone to be like, look, I've got a podcast, but I can do it on stage too. That's a different ask. And so I respect someone who runs an event that says, look, I got to go with a winner here because,
Sure.
like what you just said.
It's hard.
I totally
you charge people $1,000 and then you book someone who's trying something new.
Sleepy at the wheel. Yeah. Yeah.
It reminds me of have you ever been in a hot air balloon?
No.
This is a random metaphor.
Yeah, in New Mexico. Yeah.
The people who fly those things are actually pilots. And to get to be a pilot, you need 1,000 hours. So it's really hard. But a hot air balloon rides 1 hour. So speakers, it's like hot air balloons. You just don't get that many chances to practice. It really favors the people who present a lot because they get to refine their thing all the time. All their decks are super polished. They know exactly the timing and they've got the joke slide and they, the research piece and the audience connection and they know exactly. You see a Marcus Sheridan, you're like, this guy just nails it. Or Jay Baer or Ann or you, Drew.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're incredible because they do it all the time.
They're amazing.
They're on a stage 3 times a week. It's like the hot air balloon pilot. Of course they're really good at it, but it's hard for someone else to become get a license if you're doing 5 hours a year. You need 1,000 hours to be unknown. Yeah. So I think, what I tell people is talk anywhere, any classroom. Do you know a teacher? Can you start your own event, launch your own webinar? I gave a gazillion presentations in that conference room over there. I did a monthly live event every month for 10 years. So that was the Beatles playing at in Hamburg, practicing again and again and again and again.
Yeah. Yeah. I just teach at a number of colleges around here. And I know it sounds weird, but I just use all my material there.
Perfect.
That's genius. I tell people there are kind of 4 ways. I really believe that what you really need is speaker velocity. And like you're saying, Andy, you need a bunch of events together to see yourself improve. And you have to go into it with a continuous improvement mindset. Every speech has to be better than the last version you gave. And I feel like there are 4 easy ways to start getting really quick gigs. The first one is you got to reach out to all the executives in your network and ask them if you can do a lunch and learn. Like it's so easy. It's a low
Good. That's a
barrier
good tip.
entry.
Great tip.
So easy, right? The second one is also really easy. Reach out to your clients. A lot of people forget that you're already trusted by someone, right? They've already probably paid you to do something. And if you can provide continuous learning or some additional education or insight for their team or them, then just do it. Like they're going to jump at that, especially if you're offering it for free to start, go for it. The next one is associations. If you're a member of any association or you're a past member of any association, especially local associations, and they do monthly meetings or quarterly dinners or whatever it is, just offer to always be the backup speaker and find out if they have a speaker lined up for next month. And if they don't, offer to be there and do it. It's so easy. It's really surprising. And then the last one, and this is probably the most untapped potential one, is reach out to other speakers. Like reach out to Andy, reach out to Chris, like reaching out to us and saying like, hey, I have a new speech. If you have someone with no budget or has an event in Austin that's tomorrow. I literally had someone call me from Houston a few weeks ago and said, we had a speaker cancel. I need a speaker for tomorrow. It's free. Like, do you know anyone that can do it, right? So I'm like looking through my logbook trying to find, do I know anyone in Houston that can just step over and do it? I didn't find someone, but they found someone, which is great. But again, reach out to speakers because speaker-to-speaker referrals can be really powerful, and you'll be surprised at how many events I have to turn down like 150 events a year. Somebody's got to get those, right? Some of them are free, wow. Some of them are lower budget. Like it's possible. So
yeah.
So that's
Doppelgangers
four good ways.
You're going to get tons of outreach after that, Drew. You just said that on a recording. You're gonna, hey, Drew, connect me with your digital twin. I want to ask about,
It's okay.
Pick up the sawdust.
Meanwhile, I'm teaching AI. I'm teaching AI at a bowling alley.
Are you really?
Exactly.
Awesome. At a bowling alley? Oh, get a picture. That's going to be a story.
I hope you're enjoying today's podcast. Now, please take a moment to hear a word from our sponsor.
Listen, if you're interested in learning about new tools and exciting solutions in marketing technology, there's a new podcast out just for you, The MarTech Show, featuring agency owner and technology futurist Robin Diamond alongside myself, award-winning marketer and partnership leader Mike Alton. Each week, we'll introduce you to a fascinating MarTech tool and do a deep dive into the problems it solves. They also dish on what's shiny and new in the industry so you can stay informed on the developments that matter to you. Find the MarTech Show and subscribe on whatever podcast player you're listening on now.
Okay, wait. Enough live events. We're running out of time, and Chris, I love your topic. So if you guys are all cool with it, I think we keep going.
Oh, yeah, we got to go.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Chris, I'm going to tee you up. Disruption, ChatGPT, search versus AI, queries and intent. What are you thinking about?
I got one that's going to scare you guys, and that's I so enjoyed making this. So let me kind of get my presentation up here. Give me 1 second. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is something called Hume AI, and I'm going to show you the demo of what it does here.
Wow. Great demo, Chris. Great.
Question for you. What happens in the future if your AI knows if you're lying? That you go for an interview and someone's wearing Meta glasses and a little red dot comes up and it speaks in your ear. It's like, she's lying. Or from a marketing perspective, do you guys have insomnia cookies where you guys are at?
No.
Oh, geez.
But I've seen them. I've seen them before, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There is one. There's a place nearby.
Yep. They're usually always around colleges. But let's pretend. So I do a ton of programmatic advertising. And with programmatic advertising, I look at a lot of market segmentations, cross segmentations, like, hey, I want to market to people that have been in my store, that live nearby me. And so my custom segmentation is the cross section between the two. But if I have advanced sentiment analysis or emotional analysis, how do I say, hey, I want to market to the students that are depressed about their midterms right now? All right? Or, I know this sounds really crazy and it's an insomnia cookie thing, and please forgive me if I'm crossing a line here. What about people that smoke weed?
I knew that. I was like, that's got to be coming. That's genius.
Yep.
I am really impressed with the speed. I didn't detect any accuracy issues. Its ability to mimic, right? Drew's point, mimicry, extremely good, right? Like that sounded basically indistinguishable. Is that comparable to Air.ai?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely feels like it's inflection. Now, keep in mind that when you use it, it's wonky. The latency is the number one thing I'm noticing with any of these AIs. But I mean, if you're watching any of this NVIDIA stuff, once they're all running on Blackwell, it'll be instantaneous. We're 5 months out from latency not even being an issue. I also, through the power of post-production, because I didn't want to do it live, I clipped out some of the dead air. But again, do we want to live in a world where the AI knows you're lying?
I think, first of all, okay, number one, like that is sentiment analysis on steroids, right? Like, how Andy, you were just saying it doesn't understand your opinions and it doesn't really know how you think or what you believe. Like this really is like the next level, getting closer and closer to truly understanding that. And that ability, Chris, for it to kind of use voice and tone inflection, as well as what you've said before and what you're saying in the what you're gonna say, to determine whether you're telling a truth or a lie, is not just a genius gimmick, but I think it's a tremendous opportunity for us to really consider the power of like how accurate this stuff can be. In really truly understanding how you think. And just imagine if it was trained on your voice, it would have a higher accuracy with a smaller like difference in the way you chat and talk. So yeah, do I want to live in a world where it can tell you if you lie? Yeah, sure, because I think the benefits to all of the things it can do in addition to that far outweigh my fear that it might catch me in a white lie, or serious lie, I guess, in the future. What do you think, Andy?
I don't know. I mean, it's a moment of like, it's like technophobia, right? It's like, does this, like, it has so many use cases. So like, let's just pick this one. Okay. Does it scare us? Is that, what about bias? What about accuracy? I think it would always have to kind of qualify, that we think it's a lie. I mean, even polygraph tests, right, aren't necessarily been admissible in court. So, I think that the accuracy issue, even if it's 99.9% accurate, I think you'll get a little asterisk next to that red dot on your glasses. But no, I think it's good. I mean, I've had moments where, you see politicians speaking and you wish the fact check was real time. Like,
yeah.
Finding out 2 days later that was inaccurate or a falsehood is kind of too late, right? So I think that probably there's more societal benefits than costs. But if people are going to be freaked out for sure. I mean, a lot of people are going to say, no, Chris, no, we don't want that.
Well, my second question was, what about it as an advertising segment? It's one thing to say, hey, I know the demographics of my target audience, but go to my target audience, but only go to the sad ones.
Sure.
Right?
No, I think that's potentially valuable. I once published an article. It's like, this is like a content experiment. I put a notebook next to my phone, and I wrote down every complaint that everybody had about their web design company for a year. Then I made an article called 27 Complaints About Web Design Companies. And this was back when there were still comments on blogs. That's mostly moved to social media. But it was a message board of angry people ranting. So if I had an ability to somehow target, is this what you're asking? Like, could I target people who are cranky about non-responsive current partners? That is my demo, man. That's like, that would make me money, right? Because you're finding people that are unsatisfied with their current provider. Could Evie sell, or Hume.ai sell that information to other people so that I could then target someone who's, has a certain sentiment on a certain topic? I start to get a bit squeamish myself, honestly. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's bizarre. But I mean, I happen to believe that we're going to be living in a future where these AR glasses, that everyone will be wearing glasses, whether you need them or not, within 3 to 5 years. I think the level of technology of what it'll bring to the world, it's just like, I know it sounds weird that you're going to have a camera and you walk into a men's restroom and there's going to be a camera on your head.
Oh yeah.
But I also think that was one of the Google Glass things that literally crushed the golden goose there.
Right. Yeah.
But on the other hand, like, just it's going to be able to have a large language model. So the Meta glasses, my mentor has one, and it talks right in the back of your ear through jawbone technology. So you can hear it, and the people you're talking to can't. And if it has no latency, it's going to be weird, but you're going to be if you had air.com, air could be in the back of your glasses.
Coaching you during a sales call?
In theory.
Think of the applications.
I know.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's crazy,
It's
but
amazing.
just knowing in a world, so I'm totally nerding out here, but I don't want to give a spoiler on the show, but there's a TV show, it's trending on Netflix right now, and this is really nerdy, but they're dealing, the premise of the show is that aliens are coming, but they're coming 400 years from now.
Oh, sure. It's a great book. Three-body problem.
Oh crap! So okay, good. Then I'm not. Then you spoiled it.
That's a fantastic series. Yeah.
Yeah, but midway through the series, the aliens just find out for the first time that humans lie, and then they stop talking to the humans.
Oh.
But in my mind, like I'm literally watching Hume, I'm watching Three Body Problem, and I'm like, everything's happening at the same time.
Like, this is real.
What happens in a society where we don't use lying intentionally to do it, but I think we all live in a world that has flexibility and these blurry lines, and that's how we as a human society sort of work. But like, if you put up guardrails that no one can lie, like things could get really weird really quick, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It is really scary, but I think all of the AI ethical questions and moral questions for me all come down to control. Like, we have to have some way for us to control, like, how our voice, whether it's being mimicked, imitated, or being ingested and then output, is being used. Because this is like, not only are we afraid of what the potential could be just from a mimicry and imitation standpoint, but Chris, you're bringing up great like insight just with Hume about like how just the way you talk can now then be used against you, even in a negotiation. Like if it was a business B2B negotiation and my phone's listening to your phone and it's like, oh, this guy, he really can go further on the price. Like just keep hammering away. It's pretty scary. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have a solution to this problem, but I think the more we control our, the way our stuff is being used, the better off we're going to be in the long term.
But the weird thing is, once this beast is out into the real world, like when I'm on Zoom, I'm like, do you mind if I record the call? Like, could you imagine? It's just like, now you're like, oh, by the way, do you mind if I bring in our truth monitor?
Yeah. There was decades ago, there was a product in like the Sharper image catalog. I'm obviously Gen X here. It was called Truth Quest, and it was supposed to be like a voice analyzer that you put next to your phone, and it had like a light that lit up if the person was supposed to be lying.
No
this
way.
Would have, it'd probably suck. Yeah. This would have huge implications for relationships. I think there'd be like, marriage counseling. There'd be all kinds of like surprising, there'd be kids getting grounded right and left. Probably people would change their language to not make such definitive statements to avoid being, triggering the algorithm and looking like you're like it's a falsehood. It'll change your behavior. It could change linguistics and language patterns and trends. People maybe would start using, the use of ambiguous terms might become more popular if it kind of stymies an algorithm from I don't know. It's but this big picture is the right focal distance for this topic.
What about court cases?
Yeah, seriously.
Like jurors are like, dude, exactly, I got red. You get red? I got red. Yeah. He killed that guy.
Yeah, forget the Bible. You don't need to swear. Don't need to swear you in. I got this one. Got it right here.
I swear I'm on Meta.
I think Dateline should be using Hume right now on the bottom of the screen. Anytime they're showing their like Dateline murder episodes, they can tell whether he's lying, what's their voice inflection. It'd be great entertainment.
Yeah, a plug-in for Chrome. So anytime you're watching a video, you can detect falsehoods through a browser, through a Chrome extension.
There you go. That'd be awesome. Wow.
We're just making this, and we've only been on this topic for like 10 minutes, and we're like, big, massive use cases, right? Big implications.
Nuts. Well, listen,
I don't know what to think about it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the clock. We're about at the end of our time. As our therapy session is, I'm sorry, but we're at the end of our time.
Yes.
All right. Drew Davis, you are a legend. This is a fast hour.
So good.
You got to man.
Really
fast one. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
You've got 3 more podcasts today. This will by far be the best one, right?
Easily.
Tell the truth.
Easily.
Tell the truth.
This is the truth. Oh, look. Oh, Hume is telling me I'm lying. No, this is honestly the truth.
This was really great. If nothing else, to reconnect. We recorded it, right? So but I would have done this anyway. Thank you. Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you, guys.
Andy's glasses are lighting up red.
Yeah, exactly. Lie. All right, bye, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes.
Good
Bye,
to see
Chris.
you.
Bye, Andy.
Thanks, Chris.
Yep. So that wraps up our show. If you are a new visitor, please check back often. It's our goal and our mission to bring on the best possible marketing thought leaders to talk about how marketing has changed, how AI is sort of changing the landscape of how we communicate and how we sell our products and services. And then ultimately just a place where marketers can get together and just be around people that are just kind of movers and shakers in this space. So if you enjoy what you heard, please come back often and we'll see you next time.